Hello everybody, I am over the moon to talk to you today about an important topic related to your work. I think it's fruitful, it's beneficial for any successful teacher, for any competent teacher to have a clear idea about practicing a lesson. Practicing a lesson is our topic today. First, we are going to talk about the main points of our topic. The main points are: number one, what is practice? Number two, the effects of practice on memory and the factors that influence practice. Number three, the process of learning a skill by instruction. Number four, how does information become automatic? Number five, visualization. Number six, how practice is performed. Number seven, characteristics of effective language practice. Now, let's turn to another point, which is what is meant by practice. What is practice? Practice is the rehearsal of certain behavior with the objectives of consolidating learning and improving performance. A lot of language practice uses drills, exercises, and activities suggested by textbooks, workbooks, and teachers. Now, let's turn to an important point in our topic: the effects of practice on memory and the factors that influence practice. What are the effects of practice on memory and the factors that influence practice? The effects of practice on memory and the factors that influence practice are: number one, practice improves the ability to recall information from memory. Number two, passive repetition results in little memory improvement. Number three, when meaning is attached, the effect of practice is improved. Number four, motivation is an important factor for practice to lead to expertise. Expertise means a high level of knowledge or skills. Number five, adding interesting information makes an item easier to remember. Now, let's turn to have a clear idea about the process of learning a skill by instruction. The process of learning a skill through instruction has three stages. Number one, verbalization. The skill to be learned is described in words or demonstrated so that the learner understands how it is to be done. When the teacher gets the students to try it and monitor the performance, correcting and demonstrating or explaining further. Number two, automation. The teacher suggests ways to practice and the learners continue practicing until they do it smoothly without thinking about how to do it. Number three, autonomy. The learners activate the skill whenever they want. Now, the question is, how does information become automatic? I think it's very important to have a clear idea about this topic. People can't think about more than one thing at a time. However, they can do more than one thing at a time, like talking while driving, How can this happen? It has been shown that a skill that has been practiced can become automatic. Automatization allows the driver to drive and talk at the same time. He may not even be aware that he is driving. Practice has been shown to decrease more and more the need to pay attention to how to do a task, resulting in smoother performance that can be done automatically when attention is focused elsewhere. When structures of a language become automatized by practice, the learner becomes more fluent. He doesn't have to think about how to make a structure. He just does it. Fossilization. Now let's turn to know what is meant by fossilization. If understanding is incorrect or incomplete and learners practice a wrong form that goes unmonitored and uncorrected, the result may be that they will learn to produce an incorrect form automatically. When wrong usage becomes automatic, it is said that an error has become fossilized by the student. How practice is performed. The teacher can help his students practice successfully after he has presented new language by sequencing practice activities in stages from controlled to less controlled to free practice. These activities can be introduced in a way that the students are more likely to produce the new language correctly. Controlled practice drills. It's very important to know what is meant by controlled practice drills. Production of the new structure or form can be carefully controlled by the teacher. Usually, in some form of drill, at this stage of practice, the learner has limited choice of the form according to the language he or she will use. The answers are predictable, and one element of language is changed at a time. This stage is intensive but should also be of short duration, since repetition under very controlled circumstances can be boring. Less controlled practice or exercises. When the learners have shown they can produce the correct forms, the students move to a stage of less control and more choice of the content of the language that can be used. They can choose their own words or produce their own sentences following a pattern. The teacher continues to monitor their production as before, but mistakes should become fewer. Free practice or free sentence. Composition activities. Students produce their own sentences in response to situational or visual prompts. Now let's talk about the characteristics of effective language practice. Characteristics of effective language practice. Number one, the activity should actually practice when it is intended to practice. Number two, the learners should understand or have enough about what they are practicing to produce acceptable forms. Number three, the learners should spend the practice time engaged in practice themselves, not listening or watching others practice or the teacher talk. The learners should be practicing successfully, getting it right. If they aren't, they will be forming bad habits that will be very difficult to get rid of. Activities should be interesting and challenging, therefore motivating. Number 6, after suggesting good, appropriate activities and giving clear instructions, teachers can help the learners to be successful by giving helpful hints, guiding understanding, moving around the classroom, and reviewing students' work. Thank you very much.